It's that time again on a Tuesday. Prediction Markets Edge right here on the early line. It's Donnie Rightside. It's Joe Raineri. The next half hour, a different way to invest your funds here with the goal, Joe. In a stock market-like approach to make more money. That's all we ask.
It's all we ask, Donnie. We got a lot
Yeah.
of opportunities here. Certainly now that the round one in the playoffs, both the NHL and NBA, we got some close ones, and we've got some teams that might have to come back from big deficits. That means great opportunities in the prediction markets.
Extending the series, can they do that? And by the way, we talked about extending a series there with the Denver Nuggets. Looks like they're going to do that as the favorites now. But, Joe, 3 games in the association tonight, Joe. Madison Square Garden takes center stage. Let's go there. It's the Hawks and the Knicks. This series is tied 2-2. This is a huge game, number 5. Winner takes this. Just needs one more win out of game 6 and 7 to clinch this series. If we take a look at Kalshi on the prediction markets, just to win the game, Joe, New York is the favorite, trading at 68% right now, and the contract is actually at 70 cents for them to win outright, meaning a $100 investment pays back $143 if you believe the Knicks will win this game outright. A 32-cent ticket here on Atlanta, a $100 investment pays back $313. Hawks, Knicks in the Garden tonight, Joe, 8 p.m.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Donnie, I think the best way to look at this game is to look at who this has been a terrible matchup for. And it's been a terrible matchup for Jalen Johnson because C.J. McCollum is pretty much taken over the offensive reins here in this series so far. He's the guy that's done the damage here. Jalen Johnson, I don't know. I mean, he's looking, I saw 27.5 points and assists. And he has been MIA, Donnie, mostly because the Knicks have done a great job with Anunoby and Karl Anthony Towns of making it very difficult for him to get anywhere even remotely close to getting those easy buckets. So I don't know. If it ain't broke, I'm not going to fix it. I'm going to keep fading Jalen Johnson here, points and assists here moving forward.
How about another Jalen Brunson in this game? If you feel he can get 25-plus points right now in the Kalshi marketplace, that $100 investment would pay back, Joe, $162. 76ers and the Celtics tonight. Can they, talking about the Sixers, extend the series? Most people thought coming into it, they'd be lucky to get one game. They did get one game, and they were tied 1-1 heading back to Philadelphia. Boston won game number 3, trounced the Sixers at game number 4, even though Joel Embiid did come back. And tonight, monster favorites up there in the TD Garden. Boston on the Kalshi Marketplace trading, Joe, at 82% as the favorite here, which means an 83-cent contract on the yes that the Celtics win this game. $100 investment only pays back $121. Shows you the type of game we might be expecting in Boston tonight.
Well, Boston notoriously, Donnie, takes their foot off the gas a lot, especially after blowout wins. And we have seen this now since 2020. I think in Boston winning by more than double digits, they're 11-24-1 against the number the next game. So basically, Donnie, they celebrate. They're like, we're good to go. We're just going to destroy them. And then they take their foot off the gas the next game. And guess what? It's a lot closer than anybody thought it was going to be. So I'm with you. You mentioned it earlier. I'm backing you up here. I think Philly absolutely stays within this number. I don't think they win, but I think you should grab the point sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I don't know if Joel Embiid is the focal point in this game. Makes a whole lot of sense because he did get a lot of minutes and was, had a good game statistic-wise, but the Sixers got blown out. It's one of those things you look at and say, yeah, Max has to step up. We get that, but you're not getting any price reductions on 25 or 30 points. You got to tell me right now, the Sixers being competitive and possibly winning this game, you got to go down a couple pegs here. It's VJ Edgecombe. Can he get 15 points in this game? If he does, Joe, a $100 investment pays back $278. You know Embiid's going to get his shots. You know Maxey is, but those extra guys out there, I should say the ancillary guys, they need to show up, and it's VJ Edgecombe for me. Can he get to 15-plus points? That could be a key trigger here. Trailblazers and the Spurs tonight. Another series that we just talked about, Boston and Philadelphia. The winner and the favorite can end the series. Same thing with the Trailblazers on the road to take on the San Antonio Spurs. Monster favorites on the Kalshi Marketplace, Joe. San Antonio currently trading at 84 cents to the contract. If they win this game, would pay back $120. Amazing. Favorites for Spurs, probably close out the Trailblazers, but you can also take it on the spread line as well. 12.5 points as the favorite. Currently trading, Joe, at an even 50 cents.
Yeah, and it feels, Donnie, that even though the final scores have not been great, it feels like, oh, if you just looked at the scores, they've been blowouts. I don't know. They've been a lot more competitive and closer, I think, than people realize here with the Portland Trailblazers. Could the Spurs run away again with this? Absolutely. But again, your back is up against the wall. You're down 3 games to 1. Nobody thought you'd even be in this spot to begin with. Would not shock me if Portland smacks them first in this game. Maybe look for Portland early, because I think, Donnie, if they're not anywhere in this game early, they're likely rolling over and not going to be in it late.
Want one of those veteran guards there to try to extend this series and help you out? We'll look no further than Drew Holiday. 15-plus points in this game tonight, Joe. A $100 investment on the Kalshi Marketplace would pay back $164. Let's get over to Major League Baseball game I know you like tonight. It's the Yankees on the road taking on the Rangers. Schlittler's on the mound for the Yankees here. He's been absolutely dominant on his early season. A 54% chance here on the Kalshi Marketplace that the Yankees win this game tonight, Joe. How does that sound?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, it's the DeGrom effect, right? Everyone's going to, DeGrom's on the mound. Well, he ain't getting any younger here, and he's already shown that he is certainly, although nice, 2-0 so far this year here. I don't trust the lineup of the Rangers here, certainly not against Schlittler, who has been also lights out here, Donnie. I think it's going to be a grind until the bullpens get involved, and I think that's where the real edge here is. I like the better lineup. All things being equal, I'll take the Yankees in the latter half of this game, who will likely score more than the Rangers will.
See Aaron Judge there going toe-to-toe with Mr. Rice in that lineup that he was going to lead through home runs through basically the first month of the season. If you feel that Aaron Judge can connect on another home run tonight, Joe, his contract to the S is 24 cents, which means $100 wager pays back $417. Let's head over to the ice. The Minnesota Wild and the Dallas Stars, a fantastic series so far. Will it go to overtime? Won't it go to overtime? How close will it be? But the favorite here currently is the Dallas Stars, currently trading on the Kalshi Marketplace, Joe, at a 54% chance to win this game. And the Yes contract is actually coming out to 55 cents, which means, Joe, a $100 investment pays back $182 if the Stars can win this one.
Yeah, it's been a wild series, Donnie. I mean, it looked like, oh, here we go again with Dallas after game 1. They got blown out 6-1, but they bounced back in game 2. They took game 3 against Minnesota in overtime. Minnesota bounces back in overtime. And here we go. It is 2-2 heading into the all-important game 5. I think fewer goals, not more goals, in this spot here, Donnie. I think this series has been tight for a reason, but I also love that prop. Will it go to overtime? Find that market. I think it very much will again here, Donnie.
Could it happen? There are also other marketplaces here on Kalshi that I've been looking at. And again, I'm a Philadelphia Flyers fan. Last night in game number 5 out in Pittsburgh, again, the Penguins won to stave off elimination. So these numbers do change all the time. But if you are looking to win the series, which means game number 6 is in Philadelphia, game number 7, if needed, will be back in Pittsburgh. The Flyers just need one victory of the next 2. They're still currently trading at a 75% chance to win that series. The Penguins at 25 cents. So if you feel the Penguins, which now put the pressure back on the Flyers with 2 straight victories in their home building, if they can win that, then they'd be the favorites for game number 7, which means you can have a $100 investment on the Penguins to win the series, Joe, pay back $400. And even if they just make it to game number 7, that proposition is already going to be profitable for the people, Joe, whether or not you win game 7 or not.
Yeah, I agree. Doesn't make it right. Get in and get out here, Donnie. Yeah. And you've got a few of those spots beginning tonight, certainly in the NHL, where you can do just that with some underdogs.
How about that? Action in the NHL, action in Major League Baseball, and also, more importantly, in the NBA tonight. Best bets given out already on the early line, Joe. What were they? Yeah, it's the Yankees to win straight up, and I'm taking double digits with the Philadelphia 76ers. More talk coming up next on PME. Joe Cervenka joins us here with a look at football. Yep, we got you covered next. Come on back after the break. Getting down to business here on the prediction markets right here on the early line for a Tuesday morning. It's Donnie Rightside along with Joe Raineri. Now we welcome in Joe Cervenka. Joe, how we doing this morning on a Tuesday?
Hey guys, it's a good Tuesday. It's Champions League Tuesday, so soccer is on the docket. Everyone's happy about that.
Everybody's happy with that. I'm happy to have the guest on here because I don't know anything about the Champions League. That's why we bring in the professionals that can certainly help me out as well. So let's get right to it here on the Kalshi Marketplace. Having some fun with the Champions League final matchup as it could sit. The favorite right now, Joe, sits Bayern versus Arsenal, followed by PSG versus Arsenal, and then Bayern versus Atletico. If you were a handicapping / investment seeker in this, which way makes the most sense here on which way you'd like to go?
Well, to pump the tires of the SportsGrid prediction market model, as we were on Byron since January. So another situation where, we got in early at about 16 cents for them. They have the toughest matchup of the Final Four going against PSG, who is a really hot team right now. Their defense is stellar. They play a real good possession game, and they hold their opponents to very limited chances, not great chances. They've had 3 clean sheets in their last 4 games. They looked really good getting to this spot in the tournament, and they've had a little bit of easier road than Byron. But I think Byron is still to play here. They are the favorites for a reason. They have probably the best player in the Champions League in Harry Kane. He's been on a mission, scoring like crazy in this tournament. I think he's scored like 6 of his last 7 games, 10 goals in the Champions League. So he is a guy that PSG will definitely be keyed on, and they do have the defenders to sort of key on him. But he's the guy that really makes it go for Byron.
It kind of feels like the final before the final because of all the teams left, Joe, right? Those 2 are the best. Whoever wins this game is going to be the favorite in the finals, right? Over Atletico and Arsenal. It just feels like Arsenal, the public is going to run to the window with Arsenal as well.
100%. Atletico is a great story. They're sort of that, that David story out of Madrid. Real Madrid was a big favorite coming in, multi-time champion. They got eliminated by Byron. Barcelona is the other side in Madrid that really is the public team over there. Atletico's a nice story, but they're going to be in tough against Arsenal. Arsenal had a great campaign early on. They were undefeated. So they're definitely the favorite over in the other bracket. And it really is like this is the Champions League before the Champions League. PSG and Bayern are the 2 best teams of the 4. So whoever wins that, it'll be if Arsenal gets through, it'll be a little bit closer between those. But whoever wins this 2-leg run is going to be the favorite going into the final.
Taking a look at some of these teams to win it overall. Bayern Munich, they're trading at 38% right now, which is $100, pays back $264. If you take a look at Arsenal, currently their contract to the yes is 27 cents. $100 pays back $371. And then if you go down to PSG, similar to what we're seeing from Arsenal and also Bayern Munich, $100 investment pays back $385. And then there's Atletico there, down at 12%, $100 investment there, pays back $834. Coming up this week here, and how about this? PSG taking on FC Bayern as well as Atletico and Arsenal. And I believe that is today. And we have that correct? That is today?
Yeah, we got PSG and Bayern today. So today's the big leg in Paris.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a coin toss game. I could see PSG taking this game. Their resume has been sort of 1-0, sort of 1-0, I should say, games. Really, like I said, really great defensive team. But Bayern at home is another beast. So they've scored a ton of goals in Germany. So it's a tough one. I would lean towards PSG in today's match, but I think Bayern can get it done at home next week and get over the aggregate hump.
Yeah, the problem is, right, the overall winner, we'd said it, PSG or Bayern, whoever gets in there is probably going to be, especially if it's Atletico, they're going to be a monster favorite. And is there any room to look at the dog in a possible upset here? Or is it just whichever one wins today, just get them ready. Jump in now. It's your last chance to hop in on that market overall.
Yeah, I would say jump in now. Even though I have Byron, PSG is a smart play if you're leaning to that side before today's match, because if it ends up a draw or anything like that, that Byron is still going to stay where they are. So, if you sort of have any doubts about staying on my Byron train, PSG is the play. Atletico, great story. They play a really solid defensive set, great manager over there, but I don't think they can get it done against Arsenal without the home field advantage. And Arsenal is just too strong of a team all around, and also a very good defensive team. Plays a lot of great possession ball. So I think your best bet is to get in on PSG here. They are sort of the harder team. They've been really good internationally and in their La Liga One. So if you are going to consider one of the other four teams, PSG is the team, and to do it before today's matchup where they are a coin flip game.
How about this one, Joe? Here, take a look also from the Champions League and sort of whirl it over to the English Premier League, because you take a look right now in the Kalshi marketplace. Arsenal at a 51% chance to win the EPL, followed by Man City at 50%. And you look at the standings right now, 73 points there for Arsenal, 70 for Man City. Any implications on winning the Champions League and also the EPL? And also, is it right that Man City currently trading right there with Arsenal in the EPL?
I think Arsenal is the team in the EPL. They've been just monster all season. I don't think Man City is going to be able to make up that ground with this much runway left. So I'm definitely on Arsenal in the English Premier League. I don't think they are going to win the Champions League. I think they are more focused on the EPL, having run that table pretty much all season. So I think they're going to decide to prioritize that over the Champions League. Not that they're going to be a walkover in any stretch of the imagination, but I think Man City just doesn't have enough time to make up that ground, and it was tough to catch Arsenal out of the gates as fast and as quick as they came out this season.
Need a quick answer from you on this one. We'll keep it in New York City. Hawks, Knicks tonight from the Garden. Kalshi has New York trading at a 68% chance to win. Are they correct, Joe? And do they win tonight, those New York Knicks?
Well, I ripped the Knicks pretty good yesterday. It was tough in my heart. The Hawks and the Knicks were actually my teams growing up before I became a Raptors fan. So, yeah, I think New York does get it done. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game. There hasn't been many in this series, so I'll take the Knicks, but not to cover.
Away to break we go, Joe. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you again.
Thanks a lot.
Let's go. Prediction Markets Edge on the early line, closing it down in style by asking some questions on who's going to extend, Joe, some of their series, and more importantly, who's going to win some of these series. We just talked to Joe Cervenka and left off with who is going to win tonight between the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. Why? Because that's going to go a long way to determine who wins this series, Joe. And currently, the favorite tonight is the New York Knicks to win game number 5. Therefore, they have the edge. So in the Kalshi marketplace, a 70% chance that the New York Knicks win this series where it's currently sitting at, which means if you invest $100 on the Knicks to advance past round number 1, that pays back $143. But, Joe, if you come in on those underdog Atlanta Hawks, $100 investment pays back $313 if they take the series.
Yeah, so you got to... Game 5 is huge, right?
Yeah.
We know this here. It looks like the Knicks have figured some things out, but I think the thing they figured out is they played with a sense of urgency, Donnie, that we had not seen prior, and I think that's where the experience comes in here. I think they're the rightful favorite here. They should be. They're the rightful series favorite, but I don't know that I would back Atlanta here because I do think the Knicks win the series. I don't think it necessarily goes to 7 games. So if I was going to do anything, instead of betting Atlanta in the series, I would bet Knicks in the series, but I would bet Atlanta and take the points tonight because there's better value in Atlanta, covering and staying within this number. But if they lose anyway, Donnie, I'm not getting any value by backing Atlanta in this series and thinking, the price I'm going to buy now is going to be much worse if they lose this game tonight at the Garden, which they likely will. But, losing the game and staying within 6.5, 7, 2 different markets. So Atlanta in the game with the points, but the series market, I don't see any reason to fade the Knicks here.
Going on a 3-game win streak. You know who's going to have to do that? That's the Detroit Pistons here. They're the number 1 seed going up against the 8th seed. And how about this? Orlando currently trading at 69% to win the series over the Detroit Pistons. Do you think the Pistons can come back as a 1 seed? They got all their metal. They're ready to go now, Joe. Well, a $100 investment pays back $323. But anything you saw from the series so far doesn't show us that Detroit's going to win 3 games in a row, let alone the next game on the docket. But, Joe, that's why we have it here. Is there any chance that Detroit can come back, and is it worth a $100 investment on them to do so?
No, it's not. First of all, Game 5, the line is already inflated. We've seen that, right? And I don't see that. And that tells me, Donnie, that the market is not necessarily... It's not a big enough, move here for me to think that Detroit coming back is, A, in the cards to win 3 straight games in a series where I've already watched them they didn't even make 90 points, Don. It's very hard to win games in a postseason if you can't score here. So I don't see any value. They're so overinflated right now, even with the Game 5 number on the board. They can't stop turning the ball over. Yeah, Orlando, I hate to say it, is an 8 seed. There's better places to go here. I would save the money than thinking maybe now's the time to get in on Detroit. I don't see that happening. I think it likely ends in 5.
From a dog to a favorite here, Joe. We talked about that series between Minnesota and Denver. It's like, ooh, everybody's injured now. Can they come back from the series? They're still plus money. Well, after last night, they're no longer plus money. Take a look at the Kalshi marketplace right now. Denver is the favorite to win the series now over the Minnesota Timberwolves, currently trading at 58 cents on that yes contract. A $100 investment pays back $173. If you think Minnesota can win, they had one chance last night, weren't able to get it done. They'll get their best chance at home, but still with a lot of banged up players. If you feel Minnesota can win 1 out of the final 2 games, Joe, a $100 investment on the Minnesota side does pay back plus money at $228.
We told you yesterday it was all going to come down to Game 6 in Minnesota, and the injuries continue to pile up. Naz Reid with an ankle injury is another issue now for Minnesota. We told you grab the plus money with Denver to win the series, because if they won last night and they won by more than double digits, which they did, yeah, we're in the minus 150s, 160s here, and it's not good here. I don't believe Minnesota's got, as currently constructed and healthy, they don't have enough to be able to even go home and win a Game 6. So last chance to get a reasonable price on Denver, because if it goes to a game 7, Donnie, they're going to be a 250, they're going to be $2.50, $3 favorite one way or the other. And in this market, that means you'd have to pay 80 cents for a game 7.
Let's head over to boxing, Joe. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua to fight this year, yes or no at this point. It's currently trading at a yes of 76 cents here. These two boxers want to get paid now, but it seems like they're fighting for the 100th time. Can we get some new credibility and new boxers that give the sport credibility, or is it just Joshua Fury and here we go? But will they fight this year, Joe?
Well, of course they will, because there's nobody else, Donnie. But where is the market that says who cares? Is that on there?
That's 100%, and no, you cannot bet that, Joe. PM me on DL. We'll return back tomorrow to Wednesday. Have a good afternoon.
The process is closed. Let's call it out for this, right? And is it their fault? You could, they've been just besieged at Embiid, but it just continues, Kevin, right? As soon as he's like, don't worry about my health, and then here we are, right? I would have traded him a couple of years ago. I would have gotten ahead of the curve, Kevin.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
At the end of the day, LeBron's going to have to put that team on his back. Can he do it? I don't know if he could do it for a 7-game series. Can he give you like 2, oh my goodness, LeBron at 31? Yeah, I think he can give you a couple of those games. But it's about the other guys that have to step up.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Scottie Scheffler, the best golfer in the world. How many majors will he win this year? And if he does get 4, Joe, that's currently trading at 3 cents. So a $100 investment actually only pays back $333 at this point, which is kind of insane when you ask him to win all 4. Joe, I told you already, sticking to my guns. $100 investment on no majors. None over the next 4 this year.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
You build teams in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round, right, Donnie? Yeah. That's where you build. That's where you get the depth. That's where you build the team. So teams looking for draft capital very much could be alive and well in this draft coming up, because there's just nobody to mortgage the future for, because you need your franchise guy. They're just not in this draft.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.